Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled Sandstorm in China, Planet X dust entering atmosphere increasing. Now, on November 27, 2018, there were reports that a large sandstorm had affected large regions in China and that the sandstorm had engulfed the city. And you can see that event in this photograph below. You can see it looks like a large bank of cloud advancing across the city. And these clouds were high, about 100 feet high. But there was just one problem. The cloud did not seem to be made of sand. The cloud seemed to be made of condensed water vapor, tiny droplets of water, and thus clouds of water, which so close to the ground should be referred to as mist or fog. Normal fog is, however, white, but this fog had a pink tone to it, as we'll see in the next photographs, and was thus luminescent and was therefore cloud that had formed around fine Planet X dust entering the Earth's atmosphere. So here we saw these clouds advancing on the city, and here we see the people inside the city being affected by these clouds. And apparently, well, it was called a sandstorm, but I don't see any sand. Sand forms swirls and creates regions that are darker than others. I don't see any sand. I see what looks to me to be some mist with uniform visibility. It is affecting visibility, but it's not variable. It's less in visibility, but the same in this whole region. So this does not look like a sandstorm at all. Again, here there is no sign of swirling sand. It actually looks like the area is being affected by pink fog, because you can see that the sky looks pink. And it is decreasing visibility, and there did seem to be wind as well, but there are no swirls of sand. So if there are no swirls of sand, this cannot be a sandstorm. And here you see two people in the sandstorm. They do seem to be affected by the wind, but there does not seem to be any sand blowing on their faces at all. And there's no sand here blocking our view of this. These are not clouds of sand. This is fog. This is condensed water vapor. And the same thing here. And you do see the sky looks pink there. So this water vapor was emitting pink light. And here's the bank of cloud again. As you can see, the terrain does not look like a desert. A sandstorm needs desert to support it. And here you see there are trees, there's greenery. This is not the type of terrain that can sustain a sandstorm. Sand is heavy. It can be blown up by the wind, but it will often hit the ground before being blown upwards again, which is why a sandstorm is usually contained to a desert region. Outside of that region, there just isn't enough sand for the wind to blow into the air, and therefore the sandstorm quickly dies down. And here's a screenshot from a video showing a real sandstorm in the Riyadh desert, from a YouTube video entitled Riyadh Desert Sandstorm, April 30, 2011. And you can see swirling clouds of sand. You can see it produces regions that are darker than others. And because this is a real sandstorm. So the cloud is made out of sand, not condensed water vapor. So the sand blows around, it hits the ground, the wind blows it up into the air again, and there's so much that it forms clouds of sand. And so this is a real sandstorm, which is produced in the desert where the surface is dry and sandy, thus giving a strong wind, plenty of sand to blow around. It produces these clouds. You do not have uniform visibility like you get in a fog, because these are clouds of sand. It's a real sandstorm. Now, if it is only clouds made of water that produce uniform visibility over a large region, because the water remains suspended in the air and each water droplet tends to remain at a uniform distance from other droplets of water because water molecules are dipoles and thus electrically charged. This is what a water molecule looks like. It's got a negative side and a positive side, so it forms an electric dipole, and that causes water droplets to remain at uniform distances from each other. So in order for this huge bank of low-level cloud to form, there had to be fine dust particles suspended in the atmosphere right above the ground, which became cloud condensation nuclei. The fact that the fog looked like light pink suggests that the cloud was slightly luminescent, i.e. it emitted light, which is consistent with it being produced by Planet X dust entering the atmosphere. And you may look at article 435 entitled Planet X Debris Filling the Solar System. Sun is now a dark star. And a better term would be Planet X fog or mist. Incidences of Planet X fog, which are usually called sandstorms by meteorologists, when they clearly cannot be sandstorms, seem to be on the increase, indicating increasing amounts of Planet X dust entering the atmosphere, and meteorologists having forgotten that what the difference is between sand and water. Now here's a photograph coming from Australia, and you can see a bank of orange fog over the ocean in Australia. But this phenomenon was called a sandstorm. And there's this white cloud above the orange one, and I wonder if they thought this was created by the sandstorm as well. But how does the wind continue to pick up the sand when it falls into the water? To continue to swirl it around. It is just not possible. A sandstorm cannot continue over the ocean. This is a cloud which is luminescent as it is emitting orange light. Such luminescent clouds only form around the Planet X dust, which is low in energy, so that it absorbs energy from Earth matter and causes it to emit light. This is thus Planet X fog, not a sandstorm. And notice as well that there are pink luminescent clouds in the sky, and these are also luminescent because they were formed around Planet X dust, higher up in the atmosphere. So in conclusion, a reported sandstorm in China could not have been a sandstorm, as it was not made of sand, but seemed to rather be a large bank of fog made of water droplets, which had condensed around dust particles accompanied by strong wind. The fog was also luminescent and must have therefore formed around Planet X dust, making the term Planet X fog much more appropriate. These events seem to be on the increase around the world, indicating that increasing amounts of Planet X dust is entering the atmosphere. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.